Top 10 Extinct Animals. Living in a world full of concrete and electricity where we drive around in cars and look at screens for the majority of the day, it can be easy to lose track of where we are and what the world actually used to be. As humans have only recently gotten out of nature's hands, there is a vast and hidden history full of fantastical creatures, some of them straight out of your worst nightmares. And that is what we'll be talking about today. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video, where today we are going to be covering a question that has definitely crossed your mind at some point in your life. What are some of the greatest, most terrifying extinct animals to have ever lived on this planet? For today's video, we will only be focusing on animals other than the standard dinosaurs, which deserve a separate video. Instead, we'll look at giant fishes, reptiles and birds, and of course, some of the most terrifying mammals to ever walk the earth. We all consider the time of mammoths and woolly rhinoceros to be prehistoric, far before human progress. But did you guys know that mammoths were alive and roaming the Siberian tundra, while the Great Pyramids were still being constructed? And so these terrors might not be as distant as we think. Stay tuned to learn about more of them. Before we move on, I'd like to ask you guys to please consider subscribing to our channel, as it would help us grow. And while you're down there, please consider clicking on the notification bell so you don't miss any future videos. Now, without any further delay, here are the top 10 extinct animals of all time. 10. Meganura. Thinking of ancient species conjures the images of giant reptiles and huge mammoths and saber-toothed cats who hunted and roamed the vast plains of the world. But earlier than that, in the very early stages of the dinosaurs even, there was an era of lush forests and thick undergrowth, home to some of the most remarkable insects to have ever lived, and none is more important than the king of all insects, the Meganura dragonfly. Existing in the earliest days on terrestrial growth, these creatures could grow to immense sizes and had wingspans reaching 70 centimeters. According to most experts, it was sort of like the ancient day version of a bird of prey, like a hawk or an eagle, and hunted smaller insects in its rainforest environment. 9. Terror birds. It is now a well-known fact that modern-day birds are direct descendants of the dinosaurs, and in the past, the resemblance might have been even more apparent. As in the form of gigantic flightless monster birds, these predators roam North America, possessing keen scents and enormous beaks capable of crushing skulls in a single strike. These prehistoric horrors earned their name as the terror birds. Mostly belonging to the genus Titanus, these animals are said to have traveled up the land bridge from South America and were so successful, in fact, that they are attributed to the extinction of some of the largest predators in the area, which should give you some idea of why these were so terrifying. 8. Dunkleosteus. Before the dolphins and whales of modern day, and even before the commonly known scaled fishes like the beloved tuna and salmon, the sea was populated with bony fishes, and they were hunted by enormous terrifying creatures in the form of the armored-jawed fishes. With a size greater than today's largest shark, Dunkleosteus was the largest of them all, and its skull alone earns its spot on our list. However, with a bite force estimated to be over 7,000 newtons, it is not skimping in the other departments either. 7. Paraceratherium. Standing over 5 meters tall, and sometimes estimated to have been as tall, if not taller than 2 stories, this gigantic animal is the largest mammal to have ever roamed the earth. According to most experts, it is classified as a hornless rhinoceros. However, it bears a striking resemblance to a giraffe, with its long neck and tall front legs, not to mention that it was without a doubt adapted to high tree grazing. It's unknown why they ever went extinct, although changing environments are said to have been a factor. Whatever the case, this huge creature deserves its spot due to size alone. 6. Platybelladon. The Miocene epoch, an ecological age described by paleontologists, was home to many giant animals related to the elephant, and thought almost all of us are familiar with the mammoths. There were quite a few who weren't as usual. Meet the Platybelladon. With its name meaning flat spear-toothed, one look at this animal is enough to confuse anyone, and with the reason for its shovel-like lower jaw still unknown, it provides a bit of mystery as well. 5. Giganopithicus. Next up on the list we have the Giganopithecus, a humongous ape that ruled ancient China in the Pleistocene epoch. Perhaps the closest real-life counterpart to the infamous Bigfoot or Yeti, this animal is known only from some selective teeth. However, scientists have estimated that it could have been as tall as 3.7 meters and weighing hundreds upon hundreds of kilos. 4. Titanoboa. The ancient terror of the Colombian prehistoric ages, this snake is taken right out of a horror movie. With a size more than twice as long as any living snake, and a mouth that could swallow a live hippo whole, this gargantuan serpent haunted the marshlands much like its modern relative, the anaconda. And we're quite lucky that it no longer exists. 3. Andrewosaurus. In an expedition into Mongolia in 1923, a single enormous skull with terrifying teeth was discovered, and it led to this ancient terror being described. With the skull alone being 3 feet long, it is estimated that it is the largest mammalian carnivore to ever walk the earth. And what's most surprising is that it's thought to have been a hoofed animal, closely related to wild pigs and hippos, just, much more terrifying. 3. Sarcosuchus. Although dinosaurs enjoy their status as some of the biggest, most terrifying creatures that roamed the earth, they were not without their own enemies. As lurking in the murky depths of Africa and South America was a formidable opponent known to have battled and killed many of the day's biggest dinosaur. This was, of course, the largest crocodile to ever have lived, the Sarcosuchus. Known to have grown up to 9.5 meters and weighing over 3 tons, this monster was truly terrifying, even for its time. 1. Megalodon. Finally, to end today's list, we have the terror of the seas and the greatest marine predator to have ever lived, the Megalodon. Over the course of the years it has spawned movies, comics and video games, and all for good reason, with the maximum length expected to have reached over 60 feet. This super predator hunted whales and other sharks among other animals and had teeth larger than your hands. And due to this, we consider it the greatest extinct animal of all time. With that guys, it's time to wrap up today's video, and for that we'd like to ask you to comment, which one of these animals was most interesting to you? And were there any animals you think that should have been on the list? Do let us know? Well guys, that was all from our side, hope you enjoyed our list and I'll see you guys next time.